Hello and welcome to Caveman TV. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the next adversary in my 1, 2, 3 series, France. So we did Prussia, we did Sweden, and we're moving on to France. Now I am going to make a video here soon that is kind of a synopsis of all the adversaries, and depending on how you play, which order I would kind of recommend going in. But that is a little beyond the scope of today's video. Keep an eye out for it. Today, we're just going to talk about France. I'm going to do some explaining here in TTS, and then we'll do an example game over in the app. Now, the Kingdom of France is one of the lesser liked adversaries, and a lot of that it comes down to the fact a lot of people think it feels very swingy. Now, France has this additional loss condition. It's the first adversary in the 1, 2, 3 series that I'm doing here that has an additional loss condition. Before setup, return all but 7 towns per player to the box. Invaders win if you ever cannot place a town. So as you can see, this is a maxed out board, right? So, setup would be 3, 4, 5, So France setup would look like this, obviously not the explorers. And then you get 6 more towns. Right? So it counts the towns placed during setup. So you get this, and then you get these towns. And that's it. That's all that can ever be on the board. And this can, again, it can make France feel very swingy, especially with the events. So, if my board looks like this, let's say, okay, and I'm playing the Spread of Rampant Green, maybe my presence would be on the board, of course, but maybe I have stem and some creepers, and I'm going to stem out 3 towns in the slow phase, right? Well, maybe I pull the event putting down roots, replace 1 explorer with 1 town, and maybe there's explorers here, right? So I replace. Boom. Instant loss, right? Or another example, coastal towns multiply. Add 1 town to a coastal land adjacent to a coastal town. Okay, if I'm at my limit, boom, game's done. I have, 2 loan to Han. I get, cultural assimilation. Game's done. So that can make France feel kind of brutal. When you have a nice plan, you're going to clear up some space. Now, obviously, you can play around this by trying your best to make sure that even if you were to draw one of these events, you'd still be okay, right? If I just cleared one of these out in advance, then, replacing this with this, now it's not as good, right? I mean, I would have put it here. It's still not a good event, but at least it's not a game-ending event. Okay. Up next, let's talk about the escalation. Demand for new cash crops. After exploring, on each board, pick a land of the shown terrain. If it has buildings, add a blight. Otherwise, add 1 town. Okay. Now, this again, you can play around. You can kind of play around this right now. It depends. If Sands explores this turn, right? Okay. And so, whoops. So if Sands explores, then let's pull one of these out, right? Sands explores this turn. Boom, boom. I have 2 choices. I either add a blight here, or I add a town here. Okay. Well, not ideal. I added a town, but it's not the end of the world. Jungles, same thing. Add a town, or I can add a town to either. Okay, probably add it there. Now mountains, right? If mountains comes up, well, I'm taking a blight, right? They explore. I have to add. I pick a terrain, and both of them already have a building, so I'm forced to add a blight. Okay. Now there may be times. Oftentimes, towns is usually what people add. If something like this occurs, right? Like, let's say Sands comes up and they explore, boom, boom, right? Well, now I can pick this land here and add a blight so I don't lose the game, right, to that town loss condition. Okay, if the board is maxed and jungles comes up, well, then I'm in trouble because I have to add a town and I instant lose the game. Okay, so town management is very important. You can kind of leverage this escalation a little bit in your favor. Okay, and then let's talk about the level 1, which is what we're going to be getting into today. Frontier Explorers, except during setup, after invaders successfully explore into a land which had no buildings, add 1 explorer there. Okay, so we can just kind of reset this a little bit. Okay, I'll leave it like this. So obviously, you know, let's say our first explorer is jungles. Boom, right? 1, 1, and 1. Traditional. After that, if they explore into mountains, okay, they explore. And then, right, if a land had no buildings, add an additional explorer. So this land just gets the explorer. This land gets a second explorer. Okay. Now, again, at level 1, that's not too bad. It's an additional explorer. If your spirit struggles with explorers, maybe a little bit of trouble. It also, you know, throws off initial defense, right? You know, Spread of Rampant Green likes that turn 2 defend. Well, it doesn't throw off Spread of Rampant Green because turn 2 is still going to be the single, but it adds an extra point of damage, which might be a little harder to defend if you're, you know, depending on your spirit. Really, this comes into play in the second level, which we'll talk about in the next video. But that is France 1, okay? So we got that town limit. We've got the escalation where we're choosing between towns and blight. And then we're adding extra explorers. So I'm going to hop on over here. Let me switch over. Okay, so I'm over here now, and I am going to just check my epic pen, just make sure it's lined up correctly, and it's not. Okay, which I had a feeling it might not be. Oh, well, let's do this. That might be part of the problem. See. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here with a new game. And I was testing some stuff out, so I'm going to abandon the game. We'll go fairly small. Not always easy to understand. And we're going to Field of Yellow Flowers. All right. And we'll take it down to 1. All right, board C. Not my favorite green board, but that's okay. Let's do it. I'm going to do level 1, I'm going to do with green. Level 2, I'm going to do with river. And then level 3, I'm going to combine those 2 spirits. Let's jump on in here. Okay, starting Mountain Explorer. Not terrible. Not perfect, but not terrible. Let me gain a power card here. And we got Sky's Herald, so of course I'm going to grab Sky's Herald. Domesticated animals go to Berserk, range 0, building land, defend 5. I often get the, with green, get to add that beast, which is nice. Drought, not a green card really. Destroy 3 towns, 1 damage to each building, add a blight. I mean, this can pair with stem quite nicely, but I typically don't pick it up on green. Because I don't like the blight. Blight calls the like great green card. You know, this can be build skips, things like that. Build skips, ravage skips. A really great card, but of course, Sky's Herald is the way we're going to go here. Now, one good thing about France, right, is if you do clear a land, it doesn't, it's done, right? Like, if you clear a land, it's not going to build, it's not going to ravage, and that's very helpful. I'm going to put this probably here, and then what I think I'm going to do is play this, and so this is already set up for a nice counterattack on turn 2 once I drop a presence in here. So I'm planning to skip this, and then I'm going to push 1 Dahan to each of these lands and try to group my Dahan into nice groups of 2. And then, that way, if I am hit with a cultural assimilation or something like that, it's not going to hit me. Okay. And finish playing cards. And get going here. Okay, a Jungle Explorer. So as you can see, we got that double Explorer. Again, not as big of a deal right now. Later on, in level 2, it is going to put a lot more pressure on that town loss condition. Turn 2, again, we're going classic green. I'm going to plan to skip this. What I could actually do... So, and again, this is where I could, because I'm single player, I could swap out Sky's Herald. It doesn't actually do a lot for me on this turn. I mean, it is a Dahan Gather, but I am going to play as though I was playing with another spirit. Okay, overgrow into here, skip that, and pretend like I'm giving Gift of Proliferation out. Defend that for 2. Okay. Ooh, heavy farming. That makes me a little sad. I'm going to take a Blight. That's okay. During the next normal Ravage, each building does +1 damage. Or each town, not each building. Okay. Prey on the Unwary. Each beast destroys 1 explorer. Add 1 beast to a land with that one. And then we get to add 1 Dahan to a jungle or wetland with Dahan. So that's a little sad. That is a... kills 1 of the explorers there, which is good for us. And yep, we'll add 1 right there. Okay. Took a Blight, but that's not the end of the world. And we're going to skip that. I could skip this, but I'm going to allow it. Okay. And I'm going to kill this back city here. Try to play a little towards the coast. All right, I get to reclaim cards and gain another miner. Let's see what we get. Some good cards here. Animated Rack Root, 1 fear, destroy 1 explorer in the slow, or add an explorer. This actually could do some good stuff into France. Obviously, France is weak to explorer control, right? If they can't explore, they're not adding another explorer into that land. So this could be really strong for us. Of course, I love Enticing Splendor. Gather 1 explorer or town, or gather up to 2 Dahan, so it's some good fast Dahan movement at 0 cost with elements that I am a fan of. Not quite probably as good into France, just because, against some adversaries, this is stopping builds, right? Whereas with France, because of these extra explorers, it's not going to stop a build. It's just going to basically cause less damage. It does let me gather Dahan fast, though, which is nice. Pull Beneath the Hungry Earth. Kind of on element. 1 fear and 1 damage. If target land is sands or wetlands, 1 damage. Could actually have some text into here. I also like the art on this card. I think it's nifty. I like the style. And then, of course, Voracious Growth. On element for all enveloping green, jungle wetlands, 2 damage, or remove a blight. Again, in higher levels of France, blight removal is all but useless. I'm going to need to defend for this turn, so I am specifically kind of having to play Stem, Fields Choked, and Overgrow to get that defend 4. So whatever I pick, I guess if I take Voracious Growth, actually, I think I am going to take Voracious Growth. I have I think I'm going to take Voracious Growth. I think this is the pick. Normally I would go Enticing Splendor, Animated Rack Root. Again, some really decent text. If you can be predictive, right? So think this is the way to go. And that's just going to help me, you know, if... Let's put this... This is here. I actually... Like, I'm tempted to put this back here. And the reason is, if on the off chance that this explorer... I mean, there's a 25... Not even. There's a 20% chance that this is wetlands. So it's not a high chance. But if it is wetlands, I could have then, like, immediately voracious growth and kill both the explorers. I mean, I suppose I could do the same thing back here, though. Right? So I could do something like this. This turn. I mean, my other option, though, which I think is better, is just to do stem and kill this town. Okay. So I am going to put this... Do I have... So I do have a destroyed presence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up here. It's going to allow me to skip that next turn, which is going to be fantastic. And then I'm going to drop that right there. Okay. Ooh, temporary truce. That's fine because... Ah, well, it does... So, I mean, it's fine. It means this coast isn't going to clear, but that's okay. 1 damage per... I only have the 2. I'm just going to kill that. Okay. For each board, 1 fear if there are any Dahan. So I get a fear. That gets me a fear card, which is nice here. Each player... Oh, well, look at that. I don't have to lose presence there now. Okay. Annoyed, but that's alright. We build in the sands. Okay. And we... And it is the wetlands. That's okay. I'm gonna add a town here. That's actually kind of hilarious. I'm still okay with this. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna push these Dahan here and just prepare for a nice counterattack. Okay. That is kind of hilarious. Let's gain another miner. Sky Stretches is amazing. Sky Stretches could be helpful here. We got Absorb Corruption, gather 1 blight, or pay an energy to remove a blight. If you have 2 plant, you may do both. I mean, not the greatest card. Just gathering like 2 energy to remove a blight is not good. Flesh Rot Fever, Juggles or Sands. 1 fear, add a disease. Again, could be really good into France. Stopping builds into France can also shut them down pretty well. So, some good text on this card. Quicken is always good. 1 damage to each building or defend 10. A huge defend that pairs with Stem the Flow of Fresh Water. Don't really need it, though. And then Sky Stretches, of course, this turn target spirit may use 1 slow power as if it were fast, or vice versa. Target spirit gains 3 for all powers while measuring range of the coast. I think I'm going to go with Sky Stretches. I mean, I really like that card. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff now that we can do. So first, I'm going to drop that in, and I'm going to gather 2. And again, the main reason I'm doing that is just to prevent, you know, on the off chance that cultural assimilation does come up. I'm going to Sky Stretches myself now. I have this voracious growth, and I got a couple options. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's where I'm skipping presence, trashing presence, right? So I can either skip this back build or skip this front build. Now, the big thing here is if I skip the back build, I still have to defend it. If I skip this, like I'm still gonna have to defend the front build if I skip it. And then it's the back build. So I'm gonna do 2 damage here. I'm gonna stop that build by clearing out the land. And then I can skip this and defend it for 4 next turn. Defend this for 4 and give out Gift Proliferation. And so, like, I could have voracious growth in here to stop the town build, or to stop the city build, and then I could defend here to clear it. And then skipped this, but then I would still have to defend it. So that's kind of what I was talking about. And we're good. The next Explore card matches all lands without buildings instead of the printed land type, but ignore any escalation effect on it. All right. That's not a great card for France, but hey, choose a land with disease. We don't have any of those, so that's fine. We get to reclaim a power. Cool. We're reclaiming next turn anyway, so it's not a big deal. We're gonna skip that Ravage. Figure that out. I mean, so the good news is we've kind of... We're gonna skip that bill. Okay. And Sands again, but it's not actually Sands. I mean, I guess the good news is they couldn't reach this back... couldn't reach this back 8. So I still don't have to worry about that in the Ravage now. Obviously, these mountains are going to be a problem when they come up. And I get 2 levels of stem that I really actually only have 1 target for. So, there we go. Okay, let's reclaim cards. We'll gain another miner here. Some good stuff. Bird's Cry Warning. I do like this card a lot. Fast Dahan movement. Great pre-draft elements. Or just Dahan protection, so you can like protect your Dahan and take a blight to scale. Dire Metamorphosis, not a huge fan of. I never take this card. And then we got some blight removal, which in this level of France is not bad. I think I'm gonna go Bird's Cry Warning here though. Although, you know what? Let's do... Let's take Uncanny Melting instead. I think that is a good idea. Let's drop this here. Okay. Go 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Actually, I don't need that. I can do this. Yeah, that'll work for me. That'll work nicely. Nice defend 2 right there. I mean... I could do this, actually. I could just draw like this. Finish gathering. Right? I mean, I guess that doesn't really do much for us, but that's okay. I don't have any. Oh, okay, sure. It's fine. Okay with that. Hey, there we go. Okay, we ravage the wetlands. All right. So, invaders explore. Oof. Okay, that is interesting. Let's throw that back there. I can uncanny melting. Let's get the fear. Okay, then I can just stem these out. All right. It's going to give us a double defend next turn, which is what I was hoping to avoid, but that's okay. I mean, I guess I could have built in my land 1, and then I would only have the single defend, which is what I should have probably done. But we could always get a nice Dahan defend, so Let's gain 3 energy. We're gonna have 5 energy this turn. I'm gonna probably want it all. Let's take 1 more miner. Purifying Flame, 1 damage for Blight. If it's mountains or sands, I can instead remove a Blight. Not bad. Reaching Grasp, +2 range with all powers. Scour. Destroy 3 towns and all explorers and add a Blight. So Scour could actually, like, I could take a Blight and just completely clear, like, clear my 7 out. Right? Skip my 7, and then just completely clear it out with Scour. I'm not going to do that, I don't think. Spur, if you target a land, is great for multiplayer. Also love the art on Spur as well. If you target a spirit other than yourself, I gain an energy, and then target spirit may immediately play another power card by paying its cost. I feel like Purifying Flame might be the way to go here, and I'm gonna do it. So that's the plan. Let's throw this up there so I can start working on that. If I do that, I mean, I'm gonna get a town kill. Let's just Purifying Flame, remove the Blight, and take the Blight. Use Purifying Flame as a Ravage skip a little bit. Let's throw this here just as an emergency, you know, and then we'll defend that for 4. Farmers seek Dahan for aid. So this is an event that most advanced players don't play with. Farmers seek Dahan for aid. I only have 3 towns. Again, I'm definitely playing as though this isn't, like, I'm playing this as France 1, not France 6 for sure, or I'd be, like, I would lose this turn. On each board, 2 damage to Dahan and land with buildings, and Dahan. Add a Blight to a land with at least 2 buildings, which I luckily don't actually have. The good news is invaders get less health. Okay, we'll go there. You get to add a disease, which doesn't help us this turn, but let's put it here. Oh. See, I mean, I can still put the Strife, and I don't have to skip presence. Okay. Okay, so this is where if this was a higher level of France, I would have lost because of the town replacement effect. We'll add a town here. Okay. So, I can do 2 damage. I can just full clear that out so it won't build. Gets me Terror 2. I also get to ping this. Okay. Let's see. We're ravaging in the mountains. I don't think I'm going to be able to do much back here, but I'm going to try. We're just going to pull that Blight out. I could have killed the town. That's actually funny. Pull the Blight out and just use that as kind of a Ravage skip. Okay. Reclaim cards. Choke Fungus is really good. Set them on an ever-twisting trail. Isn't terrible. I mean, a lot of good options. I mean, Choke Fungus is not super helpful to us. Like, I don't have a lot of buildings, and I have Voracious Growth. Although it does give me the build, which is the build skip, which is nice. I do think I'm going to go set them on an ever-twisting trail, though. Okay. And let's go like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, maybe? Let's do that instead. Okay. Do that. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A good Dahan defend could solve that for me at 4, or at least get close. Okay. When exploring once per board, place 1 town instead of 1 explorer. So again, this is one of those events that if you're at your town limit, could get you. Okay. Let's throw that up there. Defend 1. So it's so close, right? Just gather that out. We'll just skip that. Okay. Let's explore into there like that. Let's. Okay. We'll push 3 to Han out. All right. Now the trick here is I'm going to grab a major, and it's going to be it's going to be something great. It's going to solve my problems, like the Jungle Hungers. Okay, there we go, and we've won. So that's nice. Man, I just really have nothing. Just put that there, I guess. I want to play that one. Let's play this one. Do that. Ooh, okay. Let's forge a web. Of course, we're gonna forge a web here. And sack that, because that's not doing anything for anybody here. I can add a green. No, let's add a moon. That auto thresholds Jungle Hungers for us. And that's right, like, then I just play Jungle Hungers and Sky Stretches to win. Push 1 to a land without buildings. 1 fear. Well, that's kind of lame. Gather 2. Sure. Okay. And we win in the fast next turn, so we're good. I have 1 level of Reapers. Sure. Remove a Blight. Okay, so now I'm gonna reclaim here. Gain a minor. Does not matter what it is. Entrap works. Throw this out. And so, as you can see, now that I gained that permanent extra moon, just Jungle Hungers alone thresholds itself, which is fantastic. Again, just so much good art. Like, I love the art of the Jungle Hungers. It's peak art. I should do a video ranking some of my favorite art in the game. I think that's a video that needs to happen now. But we'll play Sky Stretches. Those are the only 2 cards we need to win the game. And there you go, France won. So as you can see, those extra explorers are a little pesky. If I had been playing even France level 2, I would have had to play a bit differently. Those 2 mountains would have definitely screwed me over a little bit. I think I still would have been okay. I would have been able to play around it, but yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Difficulty 3 game, score 34. And next time we'll get into France 2, where we get the Slave Rebellion card. We'll talk about that more in the video. But after invaders build in a land with 2 or more explorers, replace all but 1 with an equal number of towns. And that can really be tricky, but that will be River's problem. Please drop a like and a subscribe if you like my stuff, and I hope to see you guys next time.